Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my first impressions reaction to Ranking of Kings. So this is another one of those really popular anime lately that has kind of just been everywhere, and I don't really know the main gist of this. I just know that it's something about this like young toddler being a king or something. That's pretty much all I know. And I know there's this one character I think people don't like. I don't know. I'm not sure. Some dark-haired woman. I don't know. I've seen less for this than for other big name series lately. So I really don't know as much about it, but I do know it has been popular. I do know a lot of people have been checking it out. A lot of people have been praising it. I don't know what it's really about. I don't know, like, what even genre it's supposed to be. Based on just the fact that I think I know that it's about a toddler who becomes king or something somehow. It sounds more comedic and lighthearted, but I don't know. I genuinely don't. So we're just going to give it a shot, see what it has in store. For those of you who are joining in because of, well, this series in particular, a first impressions reaction on this channel is basically this. I check out the series first episode. I give it a chance. I give it a watch. If I think that it is worth reacting to in the future, then I will say afterwards that we will continue it at some point in the future. Otherwise, if I think it's just something I'd rather watch on my own time, or if I just don't like it, then we won't continue it. It is my way of checking out a series, giving it a chance, without directly committing to it quite yet. If I don't end up liking it, I don't have to continue. But if I do end up liking it, it's just dependent on, do I like it enough to watch on my own or continue reacting to? Because it's a very different thing, whether or not you want to actually put forth the time and effort into having it as a reaction series, or whether you think you'd just rather watch it on your own time. So yeah, that is the gist of this. Don't really, again, have anything else to say because I don't know anything else. Unlike with some stuff that I've reacted to, like Spy Family, which I at least knew the core concept of, I don't even know that much with this. So going in blind, that's always a good thing. Let's just get this started and hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I'm going to cut to the chase here. This is not a series I will be continuing reactions for. But I want to make it also clear that does not mean that I didn't like this. I found this to be okay. Not amazing, but not bad either. Definitely not bad. There's a lot of good stuff to this, but I think the thing that is keeping me from wanting to really react to it anymore is that certain things in it just throw me off a little too much, in not in a good way. because there have been things that we've reacted to where it's like, oh, that has thrown me off in an amazing way. It surprised me. It excites me. But this is more like I'm spending so much time of this episode just questioning how things are working. Like, how are the snakes fucking moving like that? Why are some of these people just giants? Like, there's a lot of questions I have that just raise way too much confusion for me. And like you can kind of go to say like, oh, that's just how things are in this world, and sure, like you could say the same about One Piece. One Piece has people who are just ridiculously huge for no reason. They're not actual giants, as in like a race of giants. They're just humongous people for no reason, no explanation or anything. And I understand that. But it's something that when I see it in other shows, I guess, it just throws me so off, because One Piece, it's kind of its identity to have these wacky and wild designs, as well as these various races of people. You have like humans, you have fishmen, you have minks, you have actually a giant race. So it's like there's all these different kinds of races of people in One Piece, where it just kind of, it's like, oh yeah, this is just how some people can be here. But in here, it's like they all seem to be kind of like normal people. Like, this seems to have like a very typical medieval fantasy style to it. Very classic, medieval fantasy with kings and highwaymen and demons and, monsters like these goblin-like orc ogres, something like that. These monsters like that. And it's like, okay, you have the monsters, you have like this demon shadow creature thing. But all in all, like, it seems like the people in this kind of thing, because it's this kind of world, usually the people in this kind of world adhere to normal, like, human standards, you know? So it's like, I don't know, the size thing just throws me off. And various other things, as you saw in this. How can the shadow guy, I think he said his name was Kage, which makes sense. How can Kage understand Boji? Like, it makes sense that Boji can understand others by reading lips, but how can anyone understand Boji? Nothing he's saying can be translatable. You can't read his lips in that regard. That's not how it works. He can't speak other than making noises. It's not a matter of reading lips. It's not a matter of like, oh, no sound is coming out when he's trying to speak, but he can form sentences with his lips and everything. No, that's not what's happening. Like, you could maybe like try to argue that like, oh, they're just trying to understand what he's saying, like he's like getting his point across anyway, and it's like, but it's like, that doesn't make sense. His hand movements or expressions or whatever doesn't really get what he's saying across. There's, especially with what Kage was translating, it's like some of that stuff is just like, it's too complex to be able to get thoughts like that out in that regard. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I know that's just me, and I know, again, it may sound maybe a little hypocritical with some other stuff that I watch and enjoy, but it's just how I view the series and how it affects me as I'm watching. This is all based on just my personal experience. I don't know, like, what the genre of this was supposed to be. Like, it didn't seem like it was supposed to be comedy, because I don't really think anything in it came across as like it was even trying to be funny. Like, it just didn't come across that way at all. It didn't seem like a drama either, though. Or slice of life, or even some kind of action, like, adventure story. It didn't come across like that either. So I don't really have a grasp on what this series is supposed to be going for. the only thing I really got from this is that everybody in this kingdom is kind of a fucking asshole. Like they're constantly making fun of, laughing at, and belittling Boji just because he can't speak, he can't hear, and he may be a little slower in terms of intelligence. And that might just be them, to be fair, mocking him and assuming that because he can't talk and can't hear and everything, that because of the way he acts and reacts around things, he's not smart. And it's like, this is like maybe a 5-year-old kid. Like, I have to look this up. How old is he supposed to be? Because he looks like 5 years at the most. Um, hmm. Because that's the... Because he has to be older than his brother, because he was the firstborn. His half-brother, Dida, has to be younger than him. I'm not seeing anything confirmed here, but everything I'm seeing is like he is thought to be between 10 and 12. Which it's like, okay, so this is just an anime thing then, because it's like he looks like he's 5 at absolute max. But his brother, I could believe his brother is between 10 and 12. I believe that. So the only thing you could either look at it here is either Boji is canonically very small and babyish in appearance. And that's not meant as an insult or anything, it's just meant in terms of describing his appearance. Either that, or it's just an art style choice that just does not work. It's either has to be an intentional choice that within the lore of the story he is just small and babyish in terms of his appearance, or it is just an art style choice that does not work. There's no other options. Because it makes no sense for him to be between 10 and 12 if he looks like that, unless it is an in-canon thing, an in-lore thing. Because again, he looks 5 at absolute most. At the absolute max. So yeah, I just... There's just things in this that just throw me off. As for, like, the actual entertainment and everything, it's fine. I wasn't, like, bored or anything. And again, the art and animation looks nice. And there's a couple points where it really does step up even more. The soundtrack is fine. The voice acting is fine. I have no real issues with any of that. It's pretty much just a story character kind of thing, just like from that kind of perspective. That's the only ways I can describe it, really, I guess. Just some things that just don't really click with me and just don't make me really excited to see more. I might check out more on my own time, like maybe with Rough Senpai's reactions, because I know he did a reaction series to this. But it's definitely not something that I want to react to. It's not something that I feel like it would be worth me putting in all the time and energy to get to it each week. Maybe it's just not my kind of thing comparatively. But yeah. So That is just my opinion, though. Those are just my views. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of the first episode of Ranking of Kings? Did you enjoy it a lot more than I did? And maybe if you can clarify anything for me, feel free. I'd be happy to hear anything out, for sure. But either way, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.